Okay, let's look at putting in an adaptive component now to replace our polygons that we have in our Revit project. And the way we do this is we're gonna open up a family, a new family, and we're gonna look for the term adaptive. So we're looking for a generic model adaptive. We'll open that up. And let's save it right away so we can have a way to identify it quickly when we go to import it. And I'm going to call it rib. I've already been working on this, so we'll just replace it and we'll start with a new one. And the first thing I want to do is put in some, I guess, reference planes, levels, so we have a sense of scale about what we're doing. So I'm going to grab the level, the reference level, and just copy it up 2 times. I'll do that multiple, so I'll go up 15 feet, whoops, and another 15 feet. So we have just a little idea of how big we're making our object. And I'll go to 3D view now. And I'll select this plane so we can attach our adaptive points to it. And I'm not concerned where I'm putting them right now. So I just placed 3 points down. And we can label those as, well, they're already reference points, so we're all set. And we'll go ahead and we'll make those adaptive. And we want to just check the numbering sequence. We want to start 1 at the bottom, 2, and then 3. And let's go back to our front view now and just pull those into some sort of alignment. So this will be our reach of our arm, so we'll put that over there. And we'll bring these 2 onto the other reference plane. Okay, so once we have that lined up, we'll go back to the 3D view and we'll do a little bit of modeling now. So the first thing I want to do is create some relationships between the components so we can do some extrusion. So I'm going to draw some reference lines. And I'm going to make sure my 3D snapping is on. And snap from 1 to 2. And then I'll snap from 2 to 3. And let's build a few elements. So we'll zoom in here and we'll make a flat plate. So I'm going to go to set the construction plane. I'll use that outside plane right there. And I'm going to use the polygon tool to center with a center point to it and make a 4-sided polygon, a rectangle. And we probably want this thing to be relatively large. So that's 2 foot on the bottom. And we'll do some modifications to this. I'm going to pull, I'm going to pull the one edge over. Click on that, and I'm going to pull that over until it lines up. And we'll make this thing 6 inches thick. Whoops, I've got the wrong. Let me undo that one a minute. And I want to select this line to make this number 6 inches. And we'll do the same thing up at the top. We'll select a reference plane up here. And we'll make another rectangle. And we'll make this, well, if it's 2 feet at the top, let's go down to 8 inches here. And we'll do some modifications. I'll grab this again. And I'll pull this in until it hits our reference plane. And we want this to be 6 inches. Oops, almost did the same thing again. I want to highlight that one and make this 6 inches. Okay, and now we have our 2. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to tab. I'm going to roll over this and tab until I can select this one. And then I'm going to grab in our tab here and then hit the control so I can select all 3 of those items. So we go ahead and create the form. So we have the start of our tower, of our rib. And I'm just checking to make sure that's going to behave adaptively. And the next thing we want to do is an extrusion out that way. So let's see how we can accomplish that. I think what I might need to do is put an adaptive point on this line so I can get a reference plane. So let me try to do that right away. So I'm going to click onto this line, very close to the other one, but I need a place to extrude that out at. And let's set a reference point on that. There we go. So I can now draw another inscribed box. And we'll zoom in here. And that's 6 inches also, so that'll be fine. And we'll do the same thing we did with the other one. We'll pull this in. So that's 6 inches that way. And I'll change this to wireframe so we can see through. And now let's go off to the end. And let's draw something a little bit smaller up here. So once again, I'll set the reference plane. And we'll zoom in here. And we'll make that, well, let's see, that would be 4 inches. But we still want it to be 6 inches 6. So I'll go out to 3. I don't know what we're on the other side there, I forget. And let's grab this and pull this in. And we want this to be 6 inches. Okay, so now we have, we'll want to test, I'm just going to test this quickly. I'm just going to grab this and pull it up just to make sure that we've got everything behaving adaptively. And so we'll grab the rectangle, tab until I can get just a single reference line, hit Control to select it, and then Control and select that, and go ahead and create a form again. Okay, and let's just check to make sure we have adaptive behavior here. That looks good. And we could try to do a little element right here just to kind of hide that corner. We try to build a little cylinder. Let's see if we can do that. Let me set a working plane here. And let's see if we can get on this. A lot of times that once that point gets used, it's not available again. So what I'll do is I'll try to put something really close to that area by setting another point here, and we'll then set the reference plane to that, and we'll draw a circle. Nope, it's not allowing me to select that. I'll try this one more time, but if this is going to be finicky, we're just going to move on. I'm just going to leave that off of there for now. I'm not sure why I'm not getting, but we can go back and correct that. I wanted to move on. I wanted to insert this into the drawing so we can move on to getting it actually placed in Dynamo. Then we can always come back and make modifications to our adaptive component later on. So let's go ahead now and load that into the project. And I've already loaded it in that name, so I'm just going to overwrite it again. And it's going to want to place it if we, in this case I've already placed it, but it would come in more like for you as the rib, and you would just select the 3 points. And it's just there now so Dynamo can find it as we move on to the next section. So if you move any of these adaptive points, the column would actually respond with it. So that's the construction of the adaptive point. I'll end this video now, and then we'll pick up on the next one of how to get that adaptive point to connect to all of our Dynamo, our adaptive component to register with all our Dynamo reference points.